wanted to just jump into right away the program we put together here for our time this afternoon. Nationwide, actually, like a lot of companies, have studies that we like to kind of bring out to advisors. In fact, if you've been involved with Nationwide, whether it be on the annuity, life, or retirement plan side, you may have heard of a division called Nationwide Retirement Institute, and that's who does all of these studies for us. This one happens to be called Retirement 65, and I'm going to go over a few of the findings of this and kind of talk about their, retirement reality checks that we found from this study. Also talk to you about a little bit about what retirees would tell their younger self if they had the opportunity. And then we're going to go into some pension-like income products and solutions that are new to the marketplace, maybe new, not new to all of you, but probably new to some of you, and let you know currently what's out there. So this may not be a surprise to those of you on this meeting, but more Americans are turning 65 now than ever in our history of our country, 12,000 per day. That's going to continue until about year 2027. That's why there's a need in the defined contribution space for solutions for participants to get that pension-like retirement income. I'm going to just slip through here. One of the findings we have, which again may not be too surprising to anyone on this call, is that a lot of retirees, a lot of people who aren't retired yet, I'm sorry, say they're going to retire at like the average age of 67. But in reality, when we do our studies, most people retire about 7 years earlier than that. And this has continued for years. And again, those of you not knowing exactly who's out there listening to me, some of you are probably very much engaged in with your plans and talking to participants, and you probably see this. But we want to kind of pass along some of the basic information we got from this study. Also, what we found is that most people estimate that they're going to need about 50% or half of their budget for basic living expenses. But once again, I think, again, some of you who've sat down with participants can verify this, that most people end up spending a lot more than that. And in fact, in the study, like we mentioned, we asked retirees to give advice to their younger selves, and 23% of course say you got to let people know you're going to spend more than you're expecting. Again, regarding the younger self kind of questions for retirees, one of the things we ask them is the most harmful things that happened to them that impacted their retirement savings. And bad investments was one of the number one things that they stated. Of course, tapping into retirement savings, waiting too long to retire is another reason. But I thought this slide here, and part of the reason I added this to the deck, because I think financial advisors need to understand this, that the retirees also give advice to participants that they need to work with a financial advisor. And you're going to see later in this slide deck that not all people in retirement plans think they even have a financial advisor, even though that's the audience today, is all of you who do retirement plans. So the opportunity for participants, again, along the same lines that I just said, is that even though I know a lot of you are out there getting in front of your plan participants, unfortunately, when we ask this question about where they get information, it's on the internet. The second choice was financial advisors, and then family and friends after that. But what's very eye-opening to what we're going to talk about later here about these retirement solutions is that a lot of the lower balances, participants with lower balances, do not have a financial advisor. At least they don't think they do. Because again, when asked these questions, maybe for whatever reason, they're not thinking about the person servicing the plan like yourself as being their financial advisor. But what we're finding is these people with the lower balances are the people that probably need the solutions we're going to talk about here in a little bit, probably the most. Another thing we found, and again, I'm hopping deep into the study here, but again, I only had a few minutes here to kind of go over a few things, is that when asked about pension-like income stream or defined benefit-like income streams, what's interesting is that participants over the age of 45 73% of them said they want something like this. But again, as a wholesaler who's helped a lot of financial advisors go out and meet clients, probably the most interesting thing was the companies here that said they want these solutions. Because I think a lot of financial advisors think, oh, you know what? I can sell annuities in my practice. We don't need those in the plan. But a lot of participants and plan sponsors are now looking for solutions like this. In fact, on the right here, you'll see 61% of the people that responded to our study said they're likely to roll money into a solution like this if it was in the plan. Now, what I wanted to jump to now is a little explanation, because when I talk about this topic, um, I know a lot of people have some preconceived notion of what the solutions are. Mainly the word annuity comes out because in the past, and I've been in this business for a long time, we used to call these in-plan annuities. Well, no longer do we call them that because, well, quite frankly, they're not annuities anymore. They're collective investment trusts, they're CITs. But we wanted to put this slide in front of you mainly to kind of go over what the current generation of these solutions look like. One of the first problems people have is that there's fees or penalties for transferring or withdrawing out of these products. Well, that's not the case anymore. Again, these are CITs. A lot of them look and feel like target date funds. Some look like a balance fund, for example. And you can move in and out of these funds just like you do any other fund on the core menu for your retirement plan. Then the question about portability, and this was obviously the biggest issue with these products back in the beginning, is they were not portable. But because of Secure Act 1.0, the newer solutions have to be portable. And what that means for the participant and for you, for that matter, is that they could move out of the plan and go into an IRA. Next item here is cannot be rolled over into another retirement plan. Well, again, that's not true anymore either. In fact, the solution that Nationwide works with is available on other record keepers platforms. I wasn't going to go into all the details of what platforms it's in and all that stuff at this point, but I'd be more than welcome to help people understand that if you have questions. The next item here is the higher cost. A lot of people are questioning the cost of these products, and the cost has come down quite a bit from what they looked like probably 10 years ago. And again, it's all a matter of these solutions becoming more available and more record keeping platforms. And obviously, like a lot of things in our industry, the more money that gets into these solutions, the lower the costs are. Um, the next thing here is it takes too much time to invest. Well, these, like I mentioned, are just like target date funds. So it's very easy to get people to invest in these. And again, there are solutions that are more like balance funds or risk-based funds. So it's very easy for people to get people into these funds at this point. Next item here is fees. Outside of the employer sponsored, the fees are the same outside of the employer sponsored plan. Sorry about that. That's not the case anymore either. Usually within the plan, like a lot of group type benefits, they are a little bit more cost effective. The complex part of participant experience. Again, this goes way back to, again, when we had the in-plan annuities, they were complex. Now, again, they're just like an investment option on the platform, a lot easier to educate participants and explain to them how they can get in and out of these funds. The higher cost for employees, again, I kind of addressed that earlier, that the costs for these are coming down quite a bit since they've hit the market. And the products themselves are too complex. They're like target date funds, so they're just as complex as a target date fund. And the good part about that is that people are still in the market, just like a target date fund would be. The fiduciary risk, the last item on here, is something the Secure Act 1.0 addressed. And really the reason for the development of these new CITs was Secure Act 1.0. It came with a fiduciary protection for the plan sponsor if they offered these. It also, as you probably all know, it required all of us record keepers and providers to put disclosure on the participant statement about a potential pension-like return for their 401k plan. And then, of course, the other requirement Secure Act 1.0 did is the portability, which I already addressed. So again, to help participants become more retirement ready, these solutions can provide a guaranteed income, growth potential, as I mentioned, because the money is still in the market, just like any target date fund you would sell. Access to a simple experience. Once again, this is very much like an investment option in the core menu. People can move into it. They actually can move out of it too with no problems. Needless to say, if they move out of it, they lose the benefit from being in the investment option. Um, and it's very flexible to move their money around, both within the plan, but also if the plan leaves the record keeper or if the participant, for whatever reason, wants to leave the employer. The program that Nationwide is working with is called Income America. And this is not a nationwide product, just so you know. It's actually distributed by American Century Investments, and Great Great Trust Company is the provider of the CIT. Here are some of the other benefits of this program. It is available, like I say, on other record keeping platforms as well.